Surrender is an important part of the path of the divine feminine. Surrender allows us to let go of the ego, to get back into flow with life, with our divine selves, with our intuition, with the way of the heart, with the way of the soul. And I want to share with you a simple practice that is part of a lot of religious practices and rituals around the world. It's the act of bowing down and of just touching your head to the ground in an act of surrender, not in an act of submission. This is where it is often misunderstood. To me, the act of bowing down is an act of surrender to divine will, to divine flow, which is not something external. It is something that is inside of us as well, our higher selves, our divine selves. It is letting ourselves know and letting God know, letting the universe know that it is okay that we don't know everything. We acknowledge that we don't have all of the answers, and we want to go with the flow. We want to surrender to what is right. We want to surrender to the flow of life. So it's a symbolical act of surrendering to a movement that is more in flow than what we're in at the moment. So this is a great practice when you feel that you're out of flow, or when you feel overwhelmed by life's happenings, activities, whatever is going on in your life. If you feel that there's too much and you have a little bit of a brain fry with all the decisions you need to make, you feel that you're stuck or things are out of flow, then this is really a great practice to bring you back into flow. And it's really easy. So you can either do it in and by itself, or you can do it at the end of a practice. So I sometimes like to do a silent meditation and then close with this. And then sometimes I like to do a rosary prayer, close with this, chant a mantra, and sometimes I do it in and by itself. So it's very easy. It's just bowing down and bringing your head to the floor. And as you do this, you lay your hands open on the ground, on the earth, and your forehead touches the earth. And you can stay that way as long as you wish. And in fact, until you feel that there's a real surrender in your body, in your physical self, in your muscles, in your nervous system. Our bodies hold on to so much tension. So this is a great way to let go of it. And what it does, what this movement does, so just your hands open and your forehead, you place it on the floor, on the ground. And I really could stay for a very long time like this. What it does is that it unloads the mind. It discharges the mind of all the excess information that is in there. It pours it back into the earth. Also, it brings our hearts closer to the heart of the earth. So we re-synchronize ourselves with the rhythms of the earth. Our earth, our planet has its rhythms, it has its seasons. And by bringing ourselves closer to her, we relearn, we reabsorb these rhythms. We synchronize ourselves again with a cycle that is more healthy for us. But also, by bringing ourselves closer to the earth in this position that we're in, we make ourselves smaller. And so symbolically, it's also an indication of choosing the path of least resistance. You can see it as a rock or a tree, a tall tree that is standing in the wind. And our minds, our thoughts, our wants, our desires, our egos, our need to control can be like that tall tree or that tower standing in the wind or standing in the storm, catching all this wind of everything that is going on in life. Because we want to steer events in a certain direction. And when we bow down, we make ourselves small again. So we catch less of the wind, we catch less of the happenings around us, and we can go back to a place of stillness. But also when we're bowing down and we're closer to the earth, we bring ourselves back into this tiny position that is like the position of the seed. We bring ourselves back to the state of the seed, and the state of the seed is a state from which everything can grow again. So that is really why this is such a powerful practice as well, because we make ourselves small, not in an act of submission, but in an act of, okay, we bring ourselves back to the essence, to what is really true, to what is real within ourselves and within our lives. And from what is real, from the ground of our being, we grow back into the world. We bring ourselves back into the world. So that is what this whole movement is about. So when you bow down, it's not the end of the movement. In the end, you come back up. And when you come back up like a flower rising out of the earth. You come back up like a renewed plant, a sprout, a flower, and you realize that your energy is renewed, but also that your potential and your possibilities are infinite. So very simple movement, but a lot happens in this very simple movement.